Something was wrong. Everyone felt it before anyone spoke. The silence inside Courtroom 3 of the Montgomery County Courthouse wasn't ordinary. It was heavy, expectant. A storm was coming, and the walls knew it before the people did. Judge Meredith Clark, known for her cold precision, sat behind the elevated bench, flipping through the morning's case files. Her gavel rested quietly nearby, but her mind wasn't on procedure. It was on the unsettling feeling crawling beneath her skin. Out in the hall, Officer Raymond Cole stood near the door, arms crossed. He'd been a cop for 25 years, and his gut rarely failed him. Today it screamed, something's coming. He scanned the flow of attorneys, clerks, and jittery defendants. Then he saw a black man in his 40s, clean-shaven, sharply dressed, but not flashy, stepped through the courthouse entrance. Calm, controlled, unfamiliar. Cole's eyes narrowed. The man walked into Courtroom 3 and took a seat at the back. No papers, no lawyer, no expression, just quiet observation. Judge Clark noticed him too. Her eyes flicked up, brief but focused. She didn't recognize him either. The man pulled a small notebook from his coat and began to write. Officer Cole shifted his stance. His hand moved subtly toward his weapon. He didn't know why, but he didn't like it. Then it happened. Kevin Marks, a young and clumsy defense attorney, stumbled near the bench, spilling documents everywhere. The stranger stood, helped him gather the papers, and offered a calm smile. Cole didn't relax. He stiffened. That calm. It wasn't right. He stepped forward, cutting across the aisle. Sir, he said, voice sharp, I need to see some ID. The man looked up, unshaken. This is a public hearing. Do I need ID to watch? Judge Clark tilted her head slightly. Her finger paused mid-turn on the docket. Tension crackled in the air. Cole tightened his grip on his belt. I'm asking nicely. Just show me who you are. The man stared at him, measured, unfazed. And if I don't? Before the moment could explode, the courtroom doors burst open. Attorney Charles Benton, usually composed, stumbled in, breathless and pale. His suit was wrinkled, his face soaked with sweat. Judge, he gasped. I need a word. Privately. It's urgent. Clark, stunned by his desperation, ordered a recess and led him to her chambers inside. Benton collapsed into a chair. They're going to kill me, he said. I found something. Files. Fake ones. Dozens. They're framing innocent people. It goes high. If I testify, I'm dead. Clark's mouth went dry. Then another knock. Officer Cole barged in without waiting. Judge, I just got a call. That man in the courtroom. He's not who he says he is. He's telling the truth, Benton shouted. Cole's involved. He's part of it. Gunfire. The shot rang out like a thunderclap. Benton clutched his chest, red blooming through his shirt. He fell forward, lifeless. Onto the Persian rug, Clark screamed. Cole stood over the body, gun in hand. He knew too much, Cole said, eyes cold. Now you do too. Before he could fire again, the courtroom doors exploded open. The stranger charged in, tackling Cole to the ground. The gun slid across the floor. Judge Clark dove beneath her desk and slammed the panic button. Alarms blared throughout the building. Deputies burst into the chambers, guns drawn. The stranger retrieved the weapon and pointed it at Cole's head. Clark cried out, Don't do it. Don't become like him. The stranger stood, breathing hard, finger on the trigger. His hands trembled. He closed his eyes, then dropped the gun. He's not worth it, he muttered. Cole lunged, but deputies pinned him down. He screamed obscenities as they cuffed him and dragged him out. Judge Clark, still shaking, looked up at the stranger. You saved my life, she said quietly. He nodded once. You never said your name. But before he could speak, his phone buzzed. He looked at it. His expression darkened. Without a word, he turned and walked toward the door. Where are you going? Clark called after him. The man stopped. Then, quietly, back to finish what I started. He disappeared through the doorway, leaving behind a courtroom soaked in fear, blood, and unanswered questions. The wind howled outside the Montgomery County Courthouse, but inside, silence reigned once again, this time colder. Hours had passed since the shooting, but the memory clung to the walls like smoke. Blood had been scrubbed from the rug in Judge Clark's chambers, but it remained in her mind, vivid and pulsing. She hadn't left the building. She couldn't. Not until she knew who that man was and what he had come to do. "Ma'am," Deputy Vargas called gently. "We've searched the building. The man is gone." Judge Clark stared at the empty hallway. "Gone where?" "We don't know. Security cams were disabled on the 3rd floor for 10 minutes. Somebody did that on purpose. Somebody." That word repeated in her mind. Somebody with access. Somebody with skills. Somebody who'd risked his life to stop a crooked cop and then vanished into the wind. Rachel Torres, the young reporter who had filmed everything, approached from the shadows. Her camera was still rolling. "Judge Clark," she said, "you need to see this." She held up the footage. Cole's threats, Benton's warning, the stranger's intervention. And then something else. A freeze frame of the stranger's face. "I ran this through facial recognition," Rachel whispered. "His name is Daniel Harper. Former military intelligence. Vanished 2 years ago during an investigation into federal corruption. Declared dead." Clark's eyes widened. Why would a dead man come here? Rachel hesitated. To finish something, Clark sat down slowly, breath shallow. What did Charles Benton discover? Rachel pulled out a thin USB stick. "Before he died, he sent this to me anonymously. I didn't open it right away. I thought it was a tip, but it's bigger than that." She plugged it in her laptop. A hidden folder opened. Hundreds of case files. Dozens of photos. Fabricated evidence. Falsified arrests. The same names appeared again and again. Judges, officers, prosecutors. And Cole was on almost every page. But at the center of it all was a single redacted file labeled Harper, C2 or black site. Rachel clicked. "Password protected. Try his name," Clark whispered. "Access granted." The file revealed a classified operation known as C2R, clean to rot. An off-the-books unit tasked with eliminating legal threats to national interests. Daniel Harper had been recruited, then betrayed when he refused to continue. They tried to silence him. They failed. Rachel's hand trembled as she scrolled. "He's not just cleaning up the system," she said. "He's exposing it." Outside, a screech of tires cut through the air. A dark SUV pulled into the courthouse lot. 3 men in black suits stepped out, earpieces in place. Government issued. Unmarked. "They're here," Clark muttered. "They know Harper's alive." Just then, a message popped up on Rachel's screen. From DH subject. "If you're reading this, they'll come for you too. Upload the files. Tell the truth. But know this, not everyone in this building is who they claim to be. Trust no one." A loud knock shattered the tension. Deputy Vargas rushed in, out of breath. "Judge." "Rachel, the feds want to speak with you now." Clark glanced at Rachel. "You trust me?" Rachel nodded. Clark closed the laptop. "Then follow my lead." They stepped into the hallway. The 3 agents were already inside. "Judge Clark," one said, flashing a badge that didn't have a name. "We need to confiscate all media related to this morning's incident." Rachel stepped forward. "I'm a journalist." "You can't." "Yes, we can," the agent snapped. "National security." But Judge Clark raised a hand. "This is now part of an active judicial investigation," she said firmly. "You have no jurisdiction over a sitting judge's chambers without a federal warrant." The agents exchanged glances. The tension mounted. Then a voice echoed down the hallway. "I suggest you back off." Everyone turned. Daniel Harper stood at the end of the corridor, hands raised, eyes steady. A camera was strapped to his chest, streaming live. To anyone watching, he said calmly, "My name is Daniel Harper. I was a soldier, then a ghost. Now I'm just a citizen who wants justice." The agents reached for their weapons, but they were too late. Dozens of red laser dots appeared on their chests from hidden snipers above. "Don't," Harper warned. "This building is being watched. If I disappear again, the footage goes global." The agents froze. Harper walked forward and stopped in front of Judge Clark. "You have everything you need now." He turned to Rachel. "And you know what to do." Rachel swallowed. "You're not staying?" Harper's eyes were distant. "I've got one more name to cross off." Then he was gone. The agents retreated in silence. Judge Clark turned to Rachel. "Upload everything. Tonight." Rachel nodded, tears in her eyes. That night, the files went live, and by morning, the country was on fire.